Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a BlazeCasting presentation, bringing you guys a game from the SECS tournament for December 2nd. And we're going to have iDota Gaming going up against Team Smiley in round 1. Now I am today solo casting, so it's just going to be me, Blaze, and then a couple of rounds from now, the last 2 rounds, Rainmaker said he'd be able to fill in. He's a little bit under the weather, so didn't want to have to go the whole mile there, but I'm perfectly fine with solo casting, and hopefully you guys will enjoy no matter what. But going on into it, Smiley are some guys that I know pretty well. I've actually scrimmed with them a couple times just to fill in while they need to practice up, but the last time they met up against iDota Gaming, I believe it was last week. If it wasn't last week, it was 2 weeks ago, but I think it was last week. Either way, iDota did knock them out pretty hard, I believe. I'll have to actually look back at the results of that, but one way or another, new opportunity to go up against one another here, and we see some pretty common bans coming out to start things off. The Magnus and the Darkseer, above all, are just some really powerful heroes that a lot of people just don't want to have to deal with, especially accompanied with an AoE hero. You look at the Shadow Fiend, the Sven, or the Gyrocopter. Any of those can really capitalize on the just compressing all of those heroes into one small group to AoE them down very effectively there. So both of those are getting banned out, but that does leave plenty of ban options still on the board. Bounty Hunter and Batrider are probably the most notable ones there, but we do have to keep in mind that iDota Gaming does have first pick going on into this, and the Dire, so we'll have to see what they want to draft up. Generally speaking, don't ban out the Batrider if you're not the first pick, but there are definitely plenty of options on the board here, as Oathkeeper specifically plays a really good Templar Assassin. Maybe you want to be looking at taking that off the board, but really plenty of different things there, and we're actually going to see the Batrider banned out, so they obviously did not intend to pick that up for themselves, and with that in mind, they didn't want to have to deal with it otherwise. But the Templar Assassin does get banned out, but that means Undying is still on the board if that's what they want to pick up. Undying being very powerful in this 3 versus 3 aggressive trialing kind of metagame, where they just interact so aggressively here. But Bounty Hunter still on the board. It was a Team Tag, which has recently been renamed to MMD. I have to remember the acronyms for that, but one way or another, I casted a lot of their games last week, and they actually ended up going and picking up Bounty Hunter every single game, first pick if they could, and that may be something that iDota wants to try to follow up with, because it is a very powerful hero that kind of, as soon as you hit that level 6, it really changes the pace of the game, where you can get a lot of track gold and benefit a lot from the momentum of that hero and his ultimate generation there. But again, thank you guys for tuning in. This is just a weekly tournament that they do. If you guys aren't familiar with the SECS, it's a Sunday evening Cup Series, and with that they provide just this opportunity for a lot of the North American amateurs to go at it for this in-game, this insight currency that iDota has, that they can then put towards like any kind of in-game cosmetic items, whether it be treasure keys or passes for tournaments or stuff like that, to watch those, whatever. But getting back on into the draft, we do have the Sven pick up as a first pick. Interestingly enough, he doesn't have any of the grouping mechanisms, seeing as Darkseer and the Magnus have both been banned out, but still a very powerful hero in his own right. But Team Smiley starting it off with nice pickups, the Undying and the Rubik. Really like those. Whether the Rubik goes for support or just for the solo mid, in either case it's going to be adding a lot to their lineup there. Last I checked, Oathkeeper likes to play Rubik in the mid, generally speaking, and they're going to pick up maybe a Jakiro, but no, iDota Gaming will deny that. They do not want to have to deal with an Undying coupled with a Jakiro in lane, and they're going to pick that up for themselves to help out with that Sven. I mean, Sven can start things off with the Stormhammer, or the Ice Path can follow things up, but one way or another, what you're going to be looking at is a lot of pain going up, and presumably in this 3v3, because there's going to be a lot of AoE stun action from that Ice Path, that Stormhammer. And Undying really needs somebody to work with him in that regard if they're going to be able to be successful in the lane. The Decay is so strong against multiple heroes. If you get 2 or 3 underneath it to stack up the strength, he heals an extensive amount, and with that, just some extra stun action, they'll be able to take a great advantage of the Tombstone and the zone control that it provides. But they do need some AoE stuns with Jakiro off the board. His options are a little bit more limited. I mean, Venomancer and Crystal Maiden are still pretty good options, or any kind of AoE stunner to start things off. I really kind of personally like the Disruptor, but they're going to go for the Tidehunter, which changes up their lanes quite a bit, unless they're going to be going for him on the off lane or safe lane solo. Undying and Tidehunter generally won't support together. They don't really have the best mechanics to synergize with one another. The Gush going on with the Tombstone, it will give you maybe one extra zombie to stack up and keep that slow going, but it's really not going to be a game changer there. So I definitely think that either the Undying or the Tidehunter are going to be played as a solo hero under these circumstances. Probably Robot taking up whoever's going to be going on that solo. And generally speaking, like I said, they love the aggressive tri-lane, so they might be going for 3-man top, and therefore the Tidehunter or the Undying could be going for the solo bottom. Probably would be the Tide, just to get that level 6 really quick. Ravage being such a game changer early on when Sven does not have that Black King bar available. But now we are going to be going on into the banning stage and kind of go from there, see what they want to draft up and how that'll work out for them in their lineups here. But yeah, right now I would say iDota Gaming has the most obvious projected lanes, with Sven and Jakiro definitely going to be landing together. They can either have a jungler like an Enigma, or they can just go for a third person to really just bring a lot of pain in that tri-lane there, but otherwise Bounty Hunter is going to be going on the solo off lane, and that leaves open. iDota Gaming really needs to pick up a very powerful solo mid hero to control the lane up against that Rubik, and I presume they're going to be going maybe with a Queen of Pain, but no, Team Smiley Face knows exactly what they're going to be intending there. They're going to be Team Smiley Face is going to be banning out as many solo mid heroes as possible, presumably. They've already taken off the Templar Assassin, the Batrider got banned out by iDota themselves, as well as the Magnus. Now they're looking to take off the Enigma just to kind of stop that jungle aspect, because Black Hole plus Spine Cleave, very, very devastating indeed. The Rubik is a really good counter to the Black Hole, as well as Tidehunter can do really well ravaging long distance before Enigma picks up that BKB. So I would say that they honestly didn't need to worry about the Enigma as much as they decided to with that ban, but nevertheless they want to just take things off the board that they think would synergize well with iDota Gaming's lineup, and that's going to be the pick of choice. So Disruptor, I was going to call him Black Hole, Disruptor, Enigma, Venomancer, Faceless Void, and Chaos Knight taken off the board, as well as the aforementioned Queen of Pain. So we're going to have to see what iDota wants to go with their solo mid lineup, and really what they're going to try to put in that mid lane to make things work for what they're trying out here, because there's a lot of heroes banned. I mean, there's still some classic pickups like the Shadow Shaman that might work out for them pretty well, but I think they might want to be looking for something more unorthodox, maybe like a semi-carry farming in the mid lane, I don't know, Marana or Clinks or just anything. I mean, they obviously have plenty of options still. Oh, you know, 100 and some heroes in the pool, well, 108 in Dota 2, Dota 1, but nevertheless, we'll have to see. There's plenty that they'll go for here, but Bounty Hunter, like I said, the pace of the game is going to be decided when that Bounty Hunter hits level 6, and going along with that is a Night Stalker pickup. I really like that pickup, being very aggressive up against, let's say, Rubik. First of all, Rubik can't steal much from Night Stalker. The Void's okay. The crippling fear, if you use it on Rubik, he's obviously not going to be able to spell steal right back at you. So that's going to be problematic. And of course, his ultimate darkness. You don't want to prolong the night against the Stalker of the Night. So that's going to be something where Rubik really can't do-si-do with him too much as far as spells go. Along with that, when Bounty Hunter does hit level 6, Night Stalker and Bounty Hunter are just going to be complete gank buddies. They're going to be all around the map, trying to put out a lot of pressure with their increased mobility from Hunter the Night, as well as the track bonus movement speed, and then capitalizing on a lot of kill and assist gold between the two of those. So I think they're going to try to generate a lot of momentum out of that, and we'll have to see what Team Smiley Face is, if they're able to deal with that. Presumably by getting that Tidehunter up to level 6 pretty quick, getting that Ravage on out, but of course it is a pretty long cooldown in of itself. They cannot rely on it for every single team fight, so we'll kind of see where it goes from there. But one thing that I'm going to work on for this game specifically, I've already kind of tried to work on it a little bit, is try to slow down my way of speaking. I get a lot of, I wouldn't say complaints, but generally constructive criticism that I do go through things rapidly, and although that might be appropriate for a very fast-paced team fight, I do want everybody to be able to understand what I'm trying to say, so I'm going to just mellow it out and keep it going. If you guys feel it's too slow, I can always pick it up, and definitely that's my most natural state, but just kind of let me know the pace, as well as the volume in general, just the stream quality. Obviously, I want to know that the visual is just as good as the audio and all that kind of stuff, so give me some feedback on that as we get on going into the game, but hopefully my volume level is appropriate. And oh, that is not what I want to be showing on screen for some reason. That will have to do. Don't know what's up with my overlay there, but yeah, whatever. Going on into it though, the Lina and the Naga Siren are the last pickups as well. The Keeper Light. Keeper Light I kind of expected. It's not on. It's pretty solid in just the general high potential laning. I've seen Pickles pick it up a couple times, and it adds a lot in the fact that Undying likes to spam. Undying loves to go through his mana pool really quickly, using a lot of decay, using a lot of Tombstone action there. But with the Keeper Light, getting that Chakra Magic up to level 2 at rank 2 at level 3 will allow Soth to spam up like crazy in the lane. But interestingly enough, they picked up the Naga Siren, which isn't necessarily the most scalable of carries. I mean, her illusions do give her a little bit extra oomph, along with the negative armor to do that much more physical damage, but generally speaking, you're not going to be looking to go late game with her, especially up against a Sven, who becomes just a complete monster truck when it comes down to it, with getting that Daedalus, Mask of Madness, BKB, etc. So Fate is going to be picking up the Naga Siren, but they're looking to put out a lot of aggression, and not necessarily take down racks by 20 minutes, but just have complete control of the map, can get a lot of gold, get a lot of assists, and get that gold momentum flowing so that they can control the game. But all the same, I already mentioned iDota's potential to do that with that Night Stalker picked up, and Shiny is going to be playing him, so that's going to be very interesting. Reese Dota is going to be going on the Bounty Hunter, and then, like I said, they have had plenty of options with their last support. iDota, now that they have the Sven and the Jakiro already for big AoE stuns, now they're going to follow that up with a Lina. Her Late Strike Array by itself is difficult to land, but in conjunction with all these other abilities should be no problem at all for the Lina here, so that'll get interesting. And just check everything, make sure. Okay, I am on a 2-minute delay, so anything you guys say, I will respond to at a little bit of a delay, but otherwise we'll get on into this in just a moment's time. I guess they're both ready to go, and we'll get out of the pause and into the game. Alrighty then, so it should be very obvious what lanes are going. Actually, Night Stalker going for an extremely fast bottle. This is common on many heroes that have a really good base animation and base damage. Like, let's say, Nyx Assassin or Beastmaster, they can even use their Q to farm really quickly. But it's going to be... it'll work out for him. My general preference for Night Stalker is to pick up one Gauntlet, just to get that +3 strength on out of it. So, he still has plenty of last hit damage. 62 isn't the worst thing in the world, especially going up against... it will be Oathkeeper, who only has 52 in of himself. So, it won't be the hardest time in the world. It's just something worth commenting on, that he did pick up only 3 branches, and he won't be going for that urn as rapidly because of it. They'll probably go for the Magic Wand prior to the urn. They're going to be looking for Bounty Hunter, though. They want to go for a 5-man gang, try to knock down this First Blood. Who has the sentries? It is Sauce leading the pack, but he is hiding in the trees here, so unfortunately, unless they happen to walk by him... oh, is that ping for... that's...
30 seconds to battle.
Yeah, they know he's in there. They have some kind of vision based on the fact that he is no longer invisible. The Shadow Walk has expired, and I believe he's in tower range, so they can just get that line of sight there. They are popping the Illuminate, trying to block him in a little bit, but they have the Central War one way or another. With the Entangle, they will definitely bring him down. Question is, who's going to get the First Blood, and they're going to give it to the Tide. Nope, Rubik. So Oathkeeper picking up the First Blood. That's a bottle already, and that's going to give him a really nice start to move up things on in. In the meantime, up on top, Jakiro taking advantage of the time that they have been provided with all the opposition on the bottom lane, putting up some easy wards up here to cover up the top rune, and try to make that easy for Night Stalker when he does pick up his bottle eventually. Another reason why I don't like the bottle rush, or pseudo-bottle rush, I guess you should call it, based on the fact that Night Stalker obviously didn't pick it up at the beginning of the game, but nevertheless, one thing is he's so slow in the daytime. 295 MS, Rubik did get nerfed a little bit, so he's actually a little bit slower. But even so, I don't feel like Night Stalker has the push to control like the 2 to 4 minute runes. But with Lucy picking up the Jakiro and going for a dual lane here, it actually might work out for them. Rubik has the double damage rune, so a little bit of exchange going off between the two there, but it's just going to be a little bit of harassment in the end because that bottle is already up, like I said, based on that First Blood, and Bounty Hunter is going to have a little bit of a rough time going up against a robot. This Central War is going to last a couple more minutes, and with that, Tidehunter is just really good up against melee 1v1 with that Anchor Smash. Pretty productive there. Nice ward placement here. Going to block off any more stacking or pulling from this spawn here specifically. And with that, it's going to give the Radiant lineup, Team Smiley Face, a lot more control over this top lane. However, they're still dealing with those Sven. They're actually starting things off with the Entangle. The Tombstone in a very nice aggressive position. We'll get at least 3 zombies off here. Not just the 2, but they will slow him down, and he will take a heck of a lot of damage for his trouble there. So probably going to pop off the Salve and the Clarity right here. And that's going to put him behind a lot based on the fact that he only has so much regen to spare. Popped off his Stormhammer with no follow-up damage, so really just playing extremely defensively. I like Jakiro as a defensive support, but Lina, not as much, just based on how much time and how much setup it takes to actually get her stuns rolling. She's very aggressive in her mindset, and that might not be what she prefers to be in this scenario here, trying to defend this Sven. But actually, here's the aggression I was talking about, trying to put out some damage pressure here. Nice Dragon Slave going on to keep her light. He's dropping down to 180 HP, and he should drop down here. Yeah, follow-up stun from Lina will do the trick. So Ares picks up the kill, return kill. They're going to be looking for Fate, but I think he's just fast enough to move on out of there. 320 movement speed, no problem at all. However, Shiny in the mid lane has picked up his bottle finally after a little bit of support. Using his Void to last hit, knows that it's not going to be as effective to harass right now as he has really limited control over the lane in general. Rubik looking to telekinesis up onto the cliff. Will he manage to do it? He puts him up, but I don't think he'll go up top. No, he'll just get the Invis Rune, which in of itself is very rewarding. Now, some pings going on out. Tombstone already popped off. Dragon Slave doing quite a bit of damage. Actually, no, missing everybody. And with that, Stiv is on low life, and Fate's in a pretty rough position. Nice Ice Pass coming on out. I don't think they have the Stormhammer, though, and with that, she's probably not going to get locked down here. Fate not even hitting the Light Strike Array. Now, Ares taking a bit of damage, but the creeps are here. They're not going to want to fight on this for too much longer. So just a little bit of back and forth, but no kills since Delina picking up the Keeper of the Light. Speaking of which, what's going on with his items? Did he pull that much regen? Or apparently he's, as far as looking at net worth there, he is sitting at 225. He has almost nothing to his name, but that's the life of the lowly support, and that's kind of what he's going to have to deal with. In the meantime, Oathkeeper taking full control of this lane, especially with the rune control he's had thus far, and with that he's going to have no problem zoning out this Night Stalker until nighttime hits around 6 minutes. In the meantime, just back and forth between Robot and Reese Dota, but although Bounty Hunter has picked up his boots, he's down to his last tango and really can't afford to take that many more anchor smashes trying to last hit, as he is ranking it up pretty aggressively. I'm surprised they didn't hit one a Kraken Shell, but not a big deal one way or another. Sentry Ward to knock out the Observer Ward that was placed here that will allow the creeps to spawn, I believe. We'll have to see in about 2 seconds. No, it's actually this Sentry Ward is in the box that prevents them from spawning, so for the next 2.5 minutes, not going to be an option, unfortunately. And what am I talking about? 1 minute is the time, not 30 seconds. I'm mixing my words up and head up a little bit, but if you'll excuse me for that one there, we'll have to see in about 11 seconds whether or not it actually spawns on through. I'm an idiot. But barring that, we do have keep on going on here, just a little bit 1v1 back and forth. As far as last hits go, it's going to be Oathkeeper, no surprise there, taking it up, and no, it does spawn. Okay, complete idiot on my part, don't worry about that at all. Anyways, nice sentry action from there. It did cost them 2 sentry wards to try to get that Observer locked down. They thought it was on the back end here, but one way or another they did get it taken down, and now if they stack that up with the 50 seconds, that will give them some better lane positioning. They'll pull the creep wave back to deny some of their own creeps, denying some of the experience, but right now the Radiant going very aggressive. Sauce does not have the Tombstone available. The Ice Path along with the Light Strike Array going on through. Salt on really low life, only gets 1 point in decay, does Magic Stick to get the kill, but it will be Stiv that takes off a return kill. Stormhammer, but it's too late. It was too little too late. The Riptide goes on through, finishing off. So now it's a 1 for 2 exchange, but in the middle lane, Oathkeeper is actually able to bring down the Night Stalker with the Void. He had the Fade Bolt, the Void, and the Telekinesis. Just a lot of damage to come on out, but this exchange still keeps on going. Fate, a lot of movement speed, trying to run for his life. He is at 370 right now. He should be able to get out of here, unless this Ice Path is perfect. But I think he should, yeah. Not even a chance. Based on the fact that Jakiro does not have boots yet, because of course he is playing the number 5 role by comparison, buying up those sentries and such. So boots on Lina, but not on the Jakiro just yet. Or twin-headed dragon, as some people prefer. Nevertheless, going on through, that does give an opportunity for Oathkeeper to really take control of this game, and he has phase boots. Now, he doesn't even have to opt for the arcane boots because he knows he has full rune control at this point in time. Look at that damage on Fade Bolt. It does reduce each time it hits, but still bouncing it over. He's able to push the lane up, put damage pressure on the tower. There's a nice Void going on out, and now he's going to be looking for another Fade Bolt and a Telekinesis, so he should be able to bring him down here. 2 kills, killing spree for the Oathkeeper since he did get that first blood down on the bottom lane. So he's doing extremely well right now. Not only 30 last hits, but 3 hero kills, and so he's going to be definitely topping out the GPM at 530 and going to be able to move in not only to get a lot of gold and maybe get like a 4-stab Blink Dagger, some really cool ways to set up some powerful abilities like Lina's Light Strike Array or Sven's Stormbolt, but also, actually, we'll comment on that in a moment. First, we want to make sure that see if Team Smiley Face gets an opportunity to get a gank off. The Illuminate did reveal Lina just a little bit, but it looks like they're not going to go in pursuit, just farming up these creeps. Happy to ruin the stacks that Dire has been fighting for so long, but Pickle's going to get dropped down really quickly with that Void going on through, but now the Entangle goes down on Lucy. Jakiro on low life, but they are running from the Sven. Grouped up quite a bit. No, it's going to be Fate. He's the only one that takes it. in the end, though. Oathkeeper is in the action, popping out that Void, trying to bring down Lina as well. A couple more right clicks will do it, but does not have the opportunity to do so. Will just try to bottle up, get some more mana going on through. Has one more Void available. Probably just wants to save it for a telekinesis, but one way or another, Bounty Hunter is now in the fray. Level 7 with that track up. So much movement speed, but the Shuriken's not going to be enough. He wants to get that last auto attack off, but unfortunately he did get telekinesis up. However, lots of movement speed, and now invisible. He should be able to bring him down with this last Janata. He will indeed. Now Shiny looking for Fate, trying to bring him down too. Another track goes on through. This second track kill is really big. That's a lot of gold going in the favor of Dire, and this is a big comeback for iDota. Light Striker going through. The Ravage does pop up, as well as a huge Illuminate. Anchor Smash killing two simultaneously, and a Gush to finish the third. Robot with a triple kill. Really nice combination of Pickles and Robot, using the Illuminate, using the Ravage, and getting a big kill out of it. DDK finishing off the Jakiro. Now looking for Reese. He doesn't have any more mana for Shadow Walk. They have a Gush, rank 2. Going to be able to slow him down a decent bit, along with the Flesh Golem popped off to make sure that he is locked down. However, the Illuminate does not strike. He could possibly get on out of this. The Decay brings him down to 30 HP. Looking for the last Anchor Smash, manages it for a mega kill and a very delayed Ultra. Wow, so I thought that was actually really favorable for iDota with those 2 track kills, but no, turning it around, using that Ravage, and that's just, I mean, both, you could see right there the advantage of having those 2 different heroes on the solo lane and getting the early experience. Actually, while I'm talking about that, Nightstalker's not done yet. He has 2 in the Hunt of the Night. It is his time of day, or should I say time of night, to go as aggressively as possible. He will be able to bring down Pickles before he dies to the neutrals, so that is going to be a kill for the Nightstalker. However, nothing more really coming of it. Now, Oathkeeper in a really odd position, but no Crippling Fear to really lock him down. Nice Ice Path to try to aerial denial. He's not going to get caught by the opposing one, and so Oathkeeper should be able to get on out of here. However, Shiny extremely quickly wants to try to bring somebody down, but I don't think that's going to be an option for him. Nice track going on through to keep tabs on him, but they're not going to be able to dive on this. Now track stolen, that's really big. Oathkeeper picking up the track, and if they can get a number of track kills for themselves, we'll look at the gold graph for just a second. I thought that there would be a little bit of a slope in favor of the Dire here, but not even seeing it. But anyways, that track is quite a bit of advantage, giving a lot of gold to the entire team upon getting a killer assist, so that being played into the Rubik's hands is going to be really, really important going on forward. Now we look at middle lane getting taken down, but Nightstalker actually gets the deny. He may pay for it with his life. He has a Void, maybe trying just to get on out of there. Illuminate missing once again, but now Reese on the back end really wants to try to bring someone down. Pops off the track on Oathkeeper, but there are plenty of disables for him. Nice action from Lina, putting out a little bit of damage across the board, but nobody dropping down just yet. A beautiful Ice Path to try to delay the inevitable. Reese with the track on him probably will drop down. Just one more Gush. Nope, the Decay will finish the job, and that's track goals, ladies and gentlemen. It's a lot of benefit going on to the Radiant team. Now the Gush onto Jakiro. Light Strike Array needs to be perfect. Only hits, actually hits on both. It hits on the Undying as well, and so it may just have saved Jakiro's life with these 2 TPs coming on in. If they try to chase him, they will be overextending here. So yeah, I believe Soth will take a fall for his greed there. Yeah, quick Void, Stormhammer, a couple of right clicks, and Nightstalker's going to end that killing spree for 313. So really nice there, but there's good and bad coming out for Team Smiley Face out of this. The Tier 1 tower did get denied on out of there, so with that they got gold. They got the gold for taking down the tower, but not as much as they would. Not even half as much as they would have. Nice Gush into Illuminate to bring Stiv down to half HP. And you'll notice right now Sven can barely afford regeneration, so he didn't have a salve. Now he's tracked up, telekinesis up, and they're going to be able to bring him down really quickly. Did he steal the Stormhammer? Stole the Stormhammer and used it. Very nice play from Rubik, and he has that Blink Dagger too to keep that initiation rolling. So really nice action from Oathkeeper. Love that spell steal and just putting out so much damage pressure. I mean, you can definitely see he deserves that 5-1-2. On the bottom lane, Fate getting ganked up a little bit by these 2 here. He has the track already on him. Lina was looking to set up a Light Strike Array, but not going to happen with the Song of the Siren. Kind of doing that counter initiation to try to prevent them from happening. Now it looks like Oathkeeper coming in with that haste rune. Will be able to Stormhammer up on Ares. He pops off the Light Strike Array, but to no avail. He will drop down, and another steal going on through, so he was actually able to steal the Light Strike Array as well. So AoE stun after AoE stun, and he has that Blink Dagger to use it. Now they want to put a lot of pressure on this Tier 1 tower on the bottom lane, since they do have the Ravage once again available. Looks like Tidehunter is going to be looking for a Pipe of Insight, but just really relentless in this regard. I was talking about how Team Smiley Face needed to keep the pressure going and just completely control all types of farm routes and try to get all the gold advantage for themselves. And right now that's exactly what they're doing, and doing it extremely effectively. So nice action from them, but that doesn't mean that iDota is out of it just yet. Looking at last hits, Sven actually sitting at a miserable 16 CS right now. I can't even imagine how he feels about that, being the hard carry for the team, sitting at #1 role, and actually being one of the lowest on creep kills in the entire game, based on the fact that there was just too much pressure on the top tower up there when they were going with that tri-lane versus tri-lane. But here, going on through, a lot of pressure, damage pressure on the tier 2 with these creeps to tank it up. They want to be able to bring it down, and although iDota wants to defend this, the initiation range for Oathbringer with this Blink Dagger and Light Strike Array is just considerable. You always can land the Light Strike Array because you always have the telekinesis available, so Telly into LSA is gonna make sure that you get a good chain of stuns going on through, and then you'll probably just steal a Sven Stormhammer and add more fuel to the fire there. But with this continuous push pressure, they can keep this going, and although it seems like a stalemate right now, the fact of the matter is Sven wants to be going somewhere else in a different lane and farming, but he doesn't have that opportunity to do so because they continually have been pushing. So very slow poke type push, but they have brought this tower down to 200 HP. Sven has abandoned it, so it's now a 5v4, and they can continue doing it because, again, the Keeper of the Light with that Chakra Magic rank 3, continuously fueling not only his mana pool, but everyone else's, and keep that Illuminate going to burn down the creep wave every time it comes up. So they will be able to drop down this tower here. They're going to be looking for a deny. No, it's completely contested, completely in control, and Rubik's going to get the last hit on that as well, adding to his already impressive GPM. Now he's sitting at 500, 12 minutes into the game. That is incredible. He's going to have, it looks like Bloodstone in no time at all, and he's going to kind of semi-carry up this game, I do believe, because he's just brought out so much damage, so many kills. Now they're hunting Pickles and Sauce together, hunting up, looking for something, but they do not have any detection for this bounty hunter, so they actually could have put themselves in a really bad position if they had stayed there for much longer at all. A couple observer wards stacking on top of one another, but this is what iDota needs to be doing, having Sven go off on his own and farming without getting ganked up. However, I doubt that Smiley Face is going to allow him such reprieve for much longer, as there's so much more potential for pressure going on now. Now Sauce does get tracked up and voided down, but he has plenty of HP to spare, and with a rank 3 decay can steal the strength of his opponents and heal up quite a bit and not have to worry about it whatsoever. So that's just a really powerful hero that his health bar is very deceiving. You can be sitting at half HP and still come on out of it almost near full at the end of a team fight, just because of all that lifesteal, I guess you could call it, based on the decay, based on the healing done by the Flesh Golem. But right now, all Lena can do is try to counter push as best she can. But one thing I want to comment on is how much pressure Team Smiley Face has let out during the nighttime. Generally speaking, Night Stalker is a hero that you're completely afraid of during the night. You don't want to push. You want to play very turtle passive, ward up like crazy, and just try to stay alive. But that's not how Team Smiley Face has to play, because Oathbringer just dominated that mid lane, completely controlled it, instead of TPing out to safety there as they were trying to flank up on that position there. But one way or another, they're going to be looking to push up on this tier 2 as soon as the creep wave pushes on out. The tier 1, yeah, it's not going to take too much damage, and there's really no one else to reinforce that. Now, I have absolutely no idea why Night Stalker popped Darkness here. Complete mistake in my mind. Now he's going to have that on cooldown for 160 more seconds, and that's not where you want to be when you know a team fight's going to be coming up. So he's going to be having to fight in the daytime in just a moment. Yeah, night is just about to end, and although that might have increased his farm just a tiny bit, it's not going to help him do anything more than maybe pick up a vitality booster, as this team fight is forthcoming, and it will most undoubtedly be daytime when it occurs. So they have all their abilities up, looking for maybe a Song of the Siren into Ravage, but one way or another they have so much push, they're going to bring it down really quickly. Kind of surprised with the 0 mirror images. I figured that would help out quite a bit for the push aspect of it at the very least, but not having too much issues with that as they take down the tier 2 on top lane, and now can be looking for controlling Roche. You can get some nice ward action up here, maybe one either in the middle lane or just in this position here is rather sufficient, and they can look to take down Roche, especially with the Riptide reducing his armor and being rather effective in that regard. But yeah, Rubik getting very tanky as we go along. He's going to pick up a vitality booster and then an energy booster and go for that Bloodstone, which is going to be so very powerful. Assuming he can get more kills and more assists, and who's to stop him? He's 6-1 and 2, and yeah, 16-8 right now at the advantage. If we look at the gold graph, it's very linear, looking at a 12,000 gold advantage for the Radiant right here. Same, pretty much with the Dire. Kind of plateaued out as the Team iDota has been trying their best not to feed any more kills, but you have a level 8 Sven, and generally speaking, you want to be at least level 11 to get rank 2 in God's Strength. He's just been so unfortunate with the farm, and until he gets that Black King bar, it's going to be very difficult for him to engage in a fight and not get knocked down almost immediately by this lineup that Radiant has built around them. So I was skeptical about the Naga Siren pickup in general, but if they have the momentum to just knock down on their doors, bring down their towers really quickly and control all over the map, then it really doesn't matter what carry you end up going with, because it won't reach that late game stage, as we're already looking at 16 minutes and it looks like the Radiant have full control of the map. And I can drink of water here real quick. But yeah, going on through, we do have Shiny trying to scout things out. The Dragon Slave trying to repel the Team Smiley Face from trying to take this fortified position, but I guess Robot is on pretty low life. They don't really have an urn. They have the mech, and that's about it. So they're relying a lot on that mechanism to try to reinforce their health bars, and Tidehunter has taken quite a bit of damage. So if he did get Crippling Feared up and they didn't pop off the Kraken Shell by dealing damage to him, they could actually delay the Ravage to the point that they could bring down them with the Macropyre in the Rosh Pit, as that's so good in close quarters. However, now they are just going to go in ahead and take the Rosh, and it could have been very risky if they had all been sitting out right here and gone in right then. I mean, there were a number of heroes that were really low life, but the mechanism has popped, the Roshan has fallen, and that's a lot of gold, experience, and the Aegis the Immortal going in favor of Team Smiley Face. So they're going to be looking to siege up on the tier 3 tower here. Kind of do a little bit more of that slow push action, just daring the enemy to try and stop them. In the meantime, Oathkeeper teleporting up on top lane, trying to knock out Stiv a little bit, picks up a... He hasn't had anything spell stolen for a while, and that's not how the Grand Magus likes to play whatsoever. He always wants to pick up some new and exciting spells to throw out at the opposition here. So, at the very least, if he was just doing a tiny bit of counter push, he was also picking up that Stormhammer for the upcoming fight. So, Shiny does finally have his Darkness back up, and that will help them, but only so much. He's only level 8, looking at level 9 shortly, but like I said, he's got Vitality Booster going for a Vanguard, forced to play extremely defensively, as he's just been knocked out over and over, not only in the lane, but in the team fights as well. And now Naga Siren has that Diffusal Blade, and really needs her mirror images to back that up. Hopefully, Fate will be skilling that up in a very short while. In the meantime, I'm not sure what that Ring of Health is for. I mean, he could go for Vanguard, I guess, because the Pipe is actually already finished on Tidehunter, so they have Mechanism and Pipe. They have everything they need to siege up on to the tier 1 mid, presumably, and Lina really can't do so much. I mean, she'll pop off her abilities, but being only level 6 herself, wow, they're so deprived on experience. I mean, just looking at the experience per minute graph, heck, let's look at the levels. We have level 6s and level 8s for 4 members of the Dire, Bounty Hunter being the only exception to that, and everybody else is at least 8 or higher on the Radiant. So, yeah, Lina definitely scales better with higher spells, having 280 magic damage and an AoE for both the Lightstrike Array and the Dragon Slave at max rank, but right now that's not an option for her, and instead she's just trying to push as best she can, trying to bring down a little bit of pressure onto this tier 1 bottom. But meanwhile, although they do have wards to see what's going on, it is going to be a very painful push going on the tier 3 up top. They do have the fortification available. There goes the Sentry Ward to try to scout out any bounty hunters that try to cause any grief as they go on through, but here comes a big Illuminate along with the Riptide to clear out the creep wave completely. They have a creep wave and a half along with the siege creep going down on here, and there's going to be a pretty big engage going on in just a second. Fate looking for the opportunity to get that Song of the Siren out, but get silenced up instead. Crippling Fear not going to be an option, but however, Macropyre is stolen by Rubik, and that's going to be really nice if they can get in at a good angle. Put Telekinesis, you can force at least one person to stay in it for a while. Now they're looking for a more appropriate engage. Go on with the Pipe of Insight and just waltz on in there and say, come at me, bro, I have the Ravage, I have Macropyre to go with it, and bring out a lot of pain. Fate is running on low life, but the Aegis Immortal says that they won't have too many issues there. Nice Pipe to negate the damage coming out of the Stormhammer, and they're just going to be able to bring down this tier 2 really quickly. 5-second Glyph popped off on from iDota, but here comes the action pretty much. They have to do something now. Fate will drop down if he takes any more harassment, but generally, yeah, okay, they're all trying to fall back here. Ravage needs to pop off pretty soon. He is on really low life. They could actually bring him down without the Ravage going on through, and that could be really bad for the siege. Team Smiley Face having to fall back here. Fate does not have a TP scroll, so although he will disable them and maybe pop off some extra action from the Tombstone, it's not going to really do much more than delay. Now, with that Stormhammer, I believe Soth will most likely take a fall here. I mean, he can go for the Decay. Nice Macropyre. I forgot that's Oathkeeper's, not their own. So Oathkeeper blinking on in aggressively to make sure he can lock down this Fed. That's a free pick off for them, no problem at all. Now with another Decay on 2, it's going to be a nice steal with the Oathkeeper. Beautiful action from that Fade Bolt, and he's going to be able to bring down yet another. So 2 kills for Fate and another kill for the Oathkeeper. Adds in a bunch. They have actually to pop buyback on a Lina that only has a GPM of 173. So she's sitting at a net worth of 1,800 20 minutes into the game, and she's very unhappy for that. Now getting picked up by the Telekinesis as well as trapped up by the Naga Siren. She will put out Laguna as well as the Light Strike onto Naga Siren, but again, she still has the friggin' Aegis. Has been mech'd up so many times over that this slow push has kept her alive extensively, and it looks like Smiley Face will be able to take these racks down with no trouble at all. Lina is the only one down, so it is a 5v4. what's the status on Undying's tombstone. He does have it available, so this could be a big engage here. Robot still has that Ravage, as he wasn't able to pop it off last time around. So yeah, I don't see a way of iDota stopping this melee Rex from falling with the fortification down. They are trying to bring down a lot of damage on the Naga Siren, but it's to no avail. The range of melee have fallen, and I believe the range will be also forfeit at this stage. Now Naga Siren is on really low life. They're going to try to finish her off just a little bit more. The light strike, or sorry, the Ice Path will do the trick to drop down the Aegis, and she will be coming back up with full life. So they at least got the kill on the Aegis, but that was going to expire shortly anyways. It's only 6 minutes duration. Actually, Pickles, pretty low life, pops off the blind and the mechanism, so he will be perfectly fine. Sven, on the other hand, not so fortunate, will get telekinesis up and drop down for a mega kill, and Lena on just such low life, now currently bald, but yeah, she's just going to drop. She dropped down really, really quickly herself. And the funniest thing, Ravage still available. So you still have a Ravage, you still have a, no, they popped off the tombstone, but Ravage with Flesh Golem and this action from Oathkeeper. He has just now picked up his Bloodstone, 22 minutes in the game. That's such insane GPM on a Rubik, and just playing him to his maximum potential, jumping on through and getting some amazing spell seals off. Always has a useful spell to send on through, and he's definitely controlled not only mid lane, but the rest of the map subsequently. So shutting down that Night Stalker, I definitely got to give him my MVP. Kind of talking as if this game is already over. It's not necessarily, because Sven is still very, very carryable, but here comes in Oathkeeper, delivering a lot of her, picking up the telekinesis onto the Lena, however, gets caught in a Light Strike array as well as a Ice Path. Now the Laguna goes on through, but here comes the Ravage. Here's the Pipe of Insight popped, and now Night Stalker's probably going to drop down in just a few more hits. Yeah, the Diffusal Blade will make sure of that. Bounty Hunter and Jakira have already dropped down on the southern end. They're going to be looking to blink and pick up Ares possibly, pull him out. There's the, telekinesis up on Stiv, Light Strike array to bring him down as well, but the blind actually pulled him on through it, so he will survive in the fountain. Unfortunately, a little bit more harassment to add a little bit of salt in the wound, but they're going to inevitably be able to bring down this mid set of towers and racks, assuming Pickles doesn't suicide to the tier 4s. But yeah, nice action from these Team Smiley Face. I'm kind of surprised there's not a good game called just yet. I know they obviously want to try to get Sven to that man mode, carry mode, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be an option here. However, Undying, a little bit too aggressive, will pop probably his buyback to try to get back in the fray as the racks in mid have fallen. So, that was really interesting. As you guys can kind of see from this game playing on out, they only have one more Rax available. I'll jump into the team fight. Sorry about that. Kind of wrapping up too much, but no team fight allowed, as Naga Siren just completely shuts that down. Rank 2 Song of the Siren is only 2 minutes cooldown, and now she can pop it off relatively frequently, and now picking up the Yasha, looking for the Manta style, and another rank of Diffusal. So that's going to be pretty awesome for her. Oathkeeper picking up that Invis. Apparently sold his bottle off a long while ago. Didn't really mention that, but not the biggest deal in the world. Just looking at the items, though, what can iDota do to come back from this? Generally speaking, I would give an elaborate thing of, oh, they just have to engage this way, and get such a huge advantage through, I don't know, it's just like, well, looking at their items, the sheer item difference, Blink Daggers, Bloodstones, Diffusal Blades, and Yashas, and Mechs and Pipes versus, Mithril Hammers and Vitality Boosters, it's just not going to work. So, it looks like quick pick off on the Rubik. He will buy back as he's just so very rich right now. But even so, I don't think it's going to be very consequential as we move on through. Bounty Hunter invisible. Just going to hold tight until the... was going to hold tight. Now, actually, no. A little bit back and forth there. Getting behind myself, but yeah, I was going to hold tight because of the mana leak, but Undying knew that, so he would pop off the Dust of Appearance, but Undying doesn't really have any stun mechanisms, so they weren't able to bring him down. He was able to TP out, and he is perfectly safe. However, safe in your base that only has 3 towers left remaining, the tier 4s, and that one last tier 3 doing a last stand on the bottom lane trying to repel this creep wave. Really doesn't feel safe to me at all, especially up against Oathkeeper. Just a monster for the spell steals, and although he may have thrown a little bit, dropping down his life in the middle lane there, it was really not going to be the most consequential of things. So they're going to be looking to pick off onto Sven. Picks off a Warcry, so that's pretty big, but no, Telekinesis should pull him back into the Tombstone, slowing him up plenty with the Gush, with the Anchor Smash. He will drop down with a little bit of Illuminate action and a couple more auto attacks. He actually almost got out of it, but it looks like there's a good game, well played, called out by all of them there, and it's going to be Jakira to CC first. Victory Ravage coming out from the Tide Hunter, who I failed to mention has a friggin' wheel wrapped around his neck. But nevertheless, that was well played to Team Smiley Face. They will advance to round 2, and iDota will go on down to the losers bracket, which at best means that they get half prize. If they go on all the way through the losers bracket and get to the finals of that, they will get 75 of the currency that iDota uses. But nevertheless, Smiley Face will move on, and I'll try to do my best to follow them as they go on forward, not through any kind of favoritism, just because I kind of like the King of the Hill type aspect, where we just keep on pursuing and seeing what these guys have to offer to iDota, and if anybody does triumph over them, then we'll instead take on and see what they have to bring to the field. But thanks for tuning in thus far, guys. If you guys don't know who I am, I'm BlazeCasting. I am a relatively up-and-coming Dota 2 caster. I almost should take out the up-and-coming just because I've been doing a lot of tournaments and plenty of different stuff like that. But if you don't know about me, I'm definitely up-and-coming by comparison. So check out my, obviously you're either at my YouTube or my Twitch channel. Both of those have the extension of /BlazeCasting. So you can check out the other one if you're at the VODs. And check out my live streams. I do those at least on this Sunday afternoons, but I try to do them more and more often. I'm going to be doing some video guides and things along those lines in the near future, so definitely want to keep an eye out for those kind of things. You can follow me on Twitter, do events to let you know what's up. But nevertheless, going on to the next game as soon as possible. In the meantime, enjoy the music, and thanks for tuning in.